And so this morning, the next 5 weeks are going to kind of be about how we are going to do great things, but this week is really about the fact that you can't do great things. And we physically can't do them. And so the first thing, the first reason really, I guess, that we can't do great things is because we often, I think, we lack confidence. You know, we talked about it all last series, you know, that God is with us, and then the confidence that kind of brews in us. But we forget that. We lose that confidence that God is with us, and you can see it in John chapter 14, just a little bit before what we read before. Verse 8, Philip said, "Lord, show us the Father, and we'll be satisfied." Jesus replied, "Have I been with you all this time, Philip, and yet you still don't know who I am? Anyone who has seen me has seen the Father, so why are you asking me to show him to you? Don't you believe that I am in the Father and the Father is in me? The words I speak are not my own, but my Father who lives in me does his work through me. Just believe that I am in the Father and that the Father is in me, or at least believe because of what you've seen me do." And so I find this comforting. That the people that walked daily with Jesus still had some doubts sometimes, because I think we all have this lack of confidence about God in our lives. And these guys walked with him every day, and Jesus says, "I've been with you all this time, and you still just don't get it." And so I feel like when we're in those situations, which we all have those situations where we say, you know, just give us some proof, right? Because that Philip said, he said, "Show me God." And Jesus said, God is in the things that I've done. God is in the things that you've seen. Like what Pastor Rich said, God equals love, and so when you see love, you're seeing God. You know? And so anytime I'm struggling with that, and I struggle with that confidence, sometimes that God's with me, I just look back and look at the things that God has done. Look at the things that he's brought us through. You know, and even when, you know, going, I wasn't planning on going back to this kids program thing every time, but looking at this, I'm like, man, that's got to be a God thing. You know what I mean? And that could really, you know, maybe your confidence isn't in that, and that looks real tough, but you look back at what God's done with Great Lakes Church and what God has done in this community, and it gives you that confidence. It gives you that confidence that, man, we can do awesome things. We can do something. Look at what God's already done. And so the first reason really is we lack confidence. The second reason is this: we resist accountability. The reason I resist accountability, I'll be honest with you, is like I talked about promises. When you become accountable with someone, it's kind of like making a promise to them and saying, you know, I'm going to do this, and I need you to help me get through it. And so I resist accountability because I would hate to break a promise like that. And we all have our reasons to resist accountability, but Proverbs 27:17 says that as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. And so, you know, we need each other. We need each other to work and do these different things. Not one person could have done Great Lakes Church on their own. You know, not one person can do the kids program on their own. Not one person can do some of these great things that God has us doing, but we need each other. And, you know, Pastor Rich talked about the accountability that happens, you know, each week, the last week, going through the Bible in a year. And I had the pleasure of doing it with Dory last year. And it was one of those times where it was like, I could always find something that I could do other than read the Bible. You know what I mean? We could always find something else that needs done, right? Because we're all very busy. We could all find something that needs done. But I knew that every week I was going to come in here and I had the option. I either had to duck Dory, right? or I had to, you know, say, man, I'm behind. And I just chose not to get behind. I mean, there was times when I did get behind, but I knew, and that pushed me, and it sharpened me, and it made me do it, knowing that that accountability was there, and also knowing that maybe I'm holding her accountable. You know, that if I quit doing it, what if she quits? You know, and then it's kind of on me. And so that accountability is so important that we create that in our lives as we attempt to do great things, because this is such a distracting world. Isn't it? When I do read my Bible in the morning, it's hard to get through a 15-minute reading without my phone buzzing, or even, a kid needs a sippy cup, or a diaper needs, blowout diaper, we just find all these things that need done, but they're things that keep us from doing some of the things that God's called us to do. And so we need to really create an accountability if we're going to do some great things for God. And then kind of the last thing that keeps us from really doing some great things for God is what I talked about with my friend. We resist giving up control. And that song, it blew my mind. God, my will is yours. My life is yours. My words, my voice, my will is yours. I told my friend, until we're able to give up control of our lives, until we're able to turn all of it over to Him, we're not going to be able to do those great things. And Jesus even tells His disciples, back in that first section, He says, anyone who has faith in me, right, you're going to do these great things. He says you're going to do these great things, and you're going to do even greater things than these. And He says, because I'm going to the Father. And I don't know, this would kind of stun the disciples, because He's telling them this, and He's like, so let me get this straight. We can do greater things than you because you're leaving us? That was such a scary thought, because when they've got Jesus, they've got this confidence in them. He's walking side by side. They're going up against the Pharisees. They're dodging different people. They're running this show and they're loving it. And the thought that Jesus is going to leave them has to completely frighten them. That He thinks that they're expected to do great things without Him.